So yeah, hi, I'll switch to English. I'm sorry for that, but I'm slowly learning Turkish. But I'm Kerem Atasoy. I've been at Google for 7 years, most recently working with the leading retail brands in the UK, and most recently working with brands like Burberry, Rolex, Ralph Lauren, and Neta Forte in the UK, doing some kind of leading digital activity in the branding space. And hopefully this should be a kind of a slightly funner session. My baba always laughs at my job because I spend a lot of my working day watching YouTube videos and watching videos online. So inshallah, if the internet connection works, we'll be watching some videos today. In terms of when I think about kind of brand advertising and where we're at, I think back to when I was growing up and the period of kind of boom in the advertising industry in the 1980s. When you think about those iconic brands like Apple, or me as a kid growing up in London with Levi's, and those kind of emotional connections that we created with quite iconic brand experiences. And all the kids at school wanted Levi's after seeing these kind of really emotionally engaging experiences and ads on the TV and outdoors. But when we fast forward to kind of 2014, I think when we think about the old world of brand advertising, we think of the traditional kind of creative team, which is art and copy. So traditionally in a creative agency, you'd have had an art director and a copy director, and they'd have created amazing TV and print adverts. And when we fast forward to kind of today and to 2014, I think we're in the midst of a second creative revolution, because basically there's a kind of a third creative partner on the table, which is code. And in addition to creating kind of amazing kind of brand experiences that look great with kind of catchy slogans and that create emotional connections, we now have this kind of medium of digital, and I think there's a huge amount that we can do from a technology perspective to create engagement and great brand experiences. So I think in terms of some of the work that I was doing with brands like kind of Burberry in the UK, we were starting to work with some of those brands, and we'll talk through some of the examples about thinking about actually with this new kind of tool set that we've got, what are we going to be doing in terms of five years from now, in terms of the brand experiences that we can deliver from consumers. And also, I guess the challenge that I put out to the clients to work with is also thinking about with this new technology and with the new formats and engagement that we can look at, what are we doing together in the kind of next 3 to 6 months to kind of shape the future of advertising? And I think it's something I'm kind of very passionate and very excited about. I think I'm very lucky to work at Google, but I think some of the projects that I've worked on are hugely exciting, and I think there are loads of opportunities for innovation and really exciting projects. And I think here, especially I guess in Turkey, we've just launched YouTube in the summer of last year, but I think we're not kind of saying we're reinventing the wheel here. I think when we think about brand advertising and what brand advertising is, I think it's still about kind of creating some kind of emotional connection with the consumer, meeting some kind of human need, and also creating ideas that people are going to talk about and innovating as well. So in terms of sort of today's presentation, as I said, I'm going to talk you through some kind of examples from some of the brands that I used to work with, and also other brands kind of around the world that I think are telling good stories in this world and doing some cool stuff. And the way I've kind of organized that is sort of through kind of a scale of kind of complexity on the top and engagement. And I'll talk through various different brands, some examples that you've seen. But I think on the left, at the kind of the fundamental of what you can do with digital, and particularly with YouTube as well, we have this idea of TV Plus, and you can put your TV ad on YouTube. But I think with digital and with the TrueView formats that we're kind of inventing, it's what I've called TV plus choice as well. I think we can then look at some kind of examples of brands that are looking at things like sponsorship and the things that they're doing offline, and how can I use digital as a channel, for example, to take a music festival, and instead of delivering that brand sponsorship to 60,000 people at the music festival, take that music concert and stream it to 1 billion people around the world who are logging on every day. I think we'll then talk through some ideas of kind of partnerships and collaborations, and I think there's a real revolution happening in terms of some of the content partners and YouTube celebrities that we're seeing. And I think actually when you look to YouTube, it's actually those kind of YouTube celebrities and the kids in their bedrooms that are the guys that are getting millions and billions of views and subscribers, and not the big brands. And then at the kind of right-hand side of the scale, I think we then work with brands like Topshop and Burberry, who are actually thinking about, you know, print and TV is actually probably, you know, playing a less important role for my brand, and they're engaging their audiences via digital and creating really amazing experiences online. So to start with, I'm going to start with an example that I'll ask you all who has, or shall I say who hasn't seen this example, or who has seen the Dove example of the real beauty? Who has seen this example? We have seen this example? Okay, maybe I'll play this, because it seems that not all of you have, where's my cursor gone? There we go, okay.
I'm a forensic artist, worked for the San Jose Police Department from 1995 to 2011.
I showed up to a place I'd never been, and there was a guy with a drafting board.
We couldn't see them, they couldn't see us.
Tell me about your hair.
I didn't know what he was doing, but then I could tell after several questions that he was drawing me.
Tell me about your chin.
It kind of protrudes a little bit, especially when I smile.
Your jaw.
My mom told me I had a big jaw.
What would be your most prominent feature?
Kind of have a fat, rounder face.
The older I've gotten, the more freckles I've gotten.
I would say I have a pretty big forehead.
Once I get a sketch, I say thank you very much, and then they leave. I don't see them.
All I had been told before the sketch was to get friendly with this other woman, Chloe.
Today I'm going to ask you some questions about a person you met.
I'm going to pause this example here because we only have 20 minutes today, but I think the important thing, this was one of the most amazing ads that we'd seen on YouTube last year, with driving kind of 62 million views. And I think the really interesting thing here is that brands no longer have to be beholden to the TV schedule. So I think traditionally brands are used to creating kind of 20 or 30-second TV copy, which Dove did for this campaign. But with this new kind of TrueView format where, you know, users have the choice about whether they watch the ad or whether they skip the ad, Dove is able to put this amazing story onto YouTube and deliver 62 million views of this ad. So I think the first kind of starting point for me is that already in terms of I guess somewhat the kind of the pressure on creative agencies, and the kind of the pressure to come up with good creative because the user is now in control. I think we've worked with some brands in the UK who have done some really cool stuff with this, with the kind of skip button, and I'm going to show you several examples of this, but this is a brand called Superdrug in the UK, and they sell they're like a pharmacy that sell kind of shampoo and makeup and all of those kind of things, and they're quite a fun brand. They basically just had some fun with this idea of the skip button on this ad, and I'll quickly play this example here.
Even half price Nivea and Soleil Sun Care. That's it. You can watch a Dancing Cats video now. Go on, I told you about the great offers on sun cream at Superdrug, so you can press skip. Skip off, or whatever it's called. Oh no, wait, there's also great prices on the Beat Wax range. Brilliant. Right, you definitely can skip off now. What are you waiting for? What, another offer? Okay, let's see, there's 3 for 2 cosmetics, and there's Rimmel Sun Trimmer for $2.99. Look, if you want any more, you've got to go to superdrug.com. Enjoy your Dancing Cats video.
So I think this is a really good example of a brand, you know, having a little bit of fun with
skip.
Oh,
what? Wait for it. What?
I think this is a brand, a good example of a brand having a bit of fun with our TrueView format and engaging with the user. And I think, you know, we're used to TV ads where it's a very passive format. You're sitting in your front room and, you know, there's not much you can do. But with the TrueView and kind of digital formats, there's an opportunity now to engage with users and talk with them and have some fun. And then the second example I was going to show you was from a brand called Suit.com, which is a pure player based in the Middle East. And again, this is an an example I really like, born out of the kind of the insight that one of the issues with e-commerce players in a lot of markets is people are worried about deliveries and whether they're going to get their goods and when my goods arrive, are they going to fit or not? And again, I think they were pretty smart with a cool creative built on this insight, which I'll just play now.
Let me talk a little bit.
So at the end of this, this advertiser is then using what we call kind of annotations to kind of just let the consumer decide whether the box is going to be returned or the box is not going to be returned.
Free returns on soup.com.
And you can kind of see the other ending will quickly play here as well if you kept the box.
Great deals on thousands of products on soup.com.
So I think these are really good ideas. As I was saying before, I think brand advertising is all about telling good and kind of engaging stories. And I think the brand here has got a really kind of great insight and has been able to use digital to tell quite an engaging story. And then the last kind of example I was going to talk you through just in this kind of interactivity bucket was around kind of shoppable video as well. And I think for retailers, obviously when retailers are looking at kind of brand advertising, they want consumers to kind of take some action after seeing the ad. And this is an example from Juicy Couture in the US with some very lovely looking ladies. And basically this video is a video they shot at the Chateau Marmont. But the whole experience is fully shoppable. So every bikini that you see, every look in the video, you can click straight through to the website from the experience and buy that look. So I think this is just Juicy really taking advantage of the fact that with digital, consumers can kind of interact straight away from the experience. So that's kind of talking a little bit about kind of TV Plus and some of the interactive elements that we can talk through with digital, with YouTube as well. The next example I was going to talk you through was kind of live streaming and kind of sponsorships and partnerships. And as I was saying, there are a lot of brands around the world that are paying a lot to sponsor festivals or fashion shows, or in this example, Rolex was sponsoring Wimbledon, the tennis tournament in the UK. And basically they came to us and said, could we take this championship and partner and live stream this event? And I think this is a great way for brands to take kind of their offline sponsorships and the events that they're looking at offline, and as I said, be able to stream this to a whole new generation of people that can't make the event. The next kind of area I wanted to talk about was this kind of idea of YouTube partners. And I think in Turkey, obviously we launched YouTube in May of last year, and the partner ecosystem is growing. But when you look at markets like the UK and the US or France and Germany and the Middle East as well, we have basically a thriving ecosystem of YouTube celebrities. And these are people doing everything from cooking to doing car reviews, and one of the biggest categories on YouTube is makeup. And we've got a number of stars in the US, people like Lauren Luke, who are now making, signing multi-million-dollar deals with brands, and are in fact becoming much more powerful with brands in terms of the sway they have with consumers. But I wasn't going to show you any of the examples of kind of product placement. I wanted to show you an example from Volkswagen, actually, in the US. And they've been really smart about thinking about how do I sort of leverage these YouTube partners and use the audience that they've got to deliver quite a cool message. So I will play, sorry, having trouble with my clicker, which is gone. I will play you this example.
Hey guys, so today I'm doing another tutorial. I'm sort of doing my look of like my haute couture, like avant-garde version of the stars. Today we're using this palette. It is absolutely gorgeous, and we're also going to use some rhinestones, as you could tell. These are the rhinestones. I absolutely Oh, yeah, I love you. That is what I'm going to do today, and if you want to know how I did this, then please keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is take a really nice dark brown eyeshadow, and what you're going to do is apply this to your lower lash line. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to take a really nice light highlighting color, and you're going to highlight the lid with this. Apply this to your eyelids. Okay, now you're just going to take the glue, apply it to your eyes like that, and you take your rhinestone, and you just...
So I think this is some amazing work from a brand, and I think they've been super creative. Everyone's always like, oh my god. They've been super creative with this example, but I just think it kind of proves that they wanted to, reach an audience, and these YouTube stars have got a captive and an amazing audience, and they've tagged a hard message on the end of it. But we see brands working with these kind of YouTube stars in lots of different ways in other markets, and I think they can be really powerful in terms of helping brands build their audience. The next couple of examples I'm going to talk through are from where the kind of the category where I was talking about, where we're starting to look at kind of brands that are building kind of digital first programs. And this is a brand I work really closely with in the UK called Neta Forte, and they are a luxury high-end e-commerce site, a bit like, I don't know, Harvey Nichols or kind of Baymen, but without any stores. And one of the kind of the insights that they had is that they've got all these amazing women around the world who are spending thousands of pounds on shoes and snakeskin handbags, but they didn't know how to connect them. These women weren't sort of connecting in a store experience. So we partnered with Neta Forte on a project called Neta Forte Live, which was a mashup between their site and Google Maps. And basically, you can go into this site experience and look around the world, spin the globe, and basically you can see live in real time what women all around the world are putting in their baskets. And I think that's just a really nice example of an e-commerce player thinking about how can we use digital and the rich tools that digital can bring to bring some kind of connecting experiences to our consumers. And we'll move through now to some of the work I guess we kind of were really proud of in the UK. And I think in the luxury fashion space, we kind of see there's, continually innovation happening. But we work with a brand called Topshop in the UK, who I think are present they are present in Nişantaşı in Istanbul, I know. But basically what they wanted to do is they wanted to take their London Fashion Week show and completely explode the experience using digital. And I think, as we all know, fashion shows are pretty exclusive experiences, but they use digital, Google Plus and YouTube and Maps as a platform to explode the fashion show and also breed a new area of kind of consumer engagement.
Very first Google Plus hangout with the team behind Topshop Unique, and we're very excited to be here.
Hi Pixie, what do you think about the new technology that Topshop is integrating into their show this season?
Oh, that's quite amazing.
Yes, isn't it?
Congrats, Topshop. Very forward thinking. Stand still.
So I really love this example because I think for Topshop, which is a brand that wants to connect with kind of teenage girls who are sitting in their bedrooms dreaming about being models or, you know, all this kind of stuff, they completely opened up the fashion show experience. They put cameras on the models going down the catwalk. They allowed people through Google Hangouts to ask questions to the celebrities on the red carpet. They had booths in their shop that consumers could go to. And then they basically allowed their consumers to basically crowdsource the collection, so make decisions about, as stuff was coming down the runway, which pieces do you think we should buy? So I think that's a really nice example of basically taking what is a very exclusive event and opening it up to your customers. And then the last example I'm going to talk through today, which is probably at the you know, more advanced end of the scale under this kind of art copy code project that I was talking about at the beginning, was a project called Burberry Kisses. And Burberry basically came to us and said, we're launching a beauty collection and we want to engage a younger audience. And we don't believe that audience is really tuned into TV and into print advertising. So what can we do together to engage that young audience in order to build our beauty business? And we developed a project called Burberry Kisses. Again, this is a project we're pretty excited about, and I think one of the criticisms often of digital is that, you know, it's not TV, you can't convey emotion, and this was an amazing experience we developed in our rich media mobile formats on desktop, on YouTube, and on our display network, where basically a consumer could see an ad, take their phone, actually capture their real kiss on their phone, change the color. You can type in Burberry Kisses and try it now, and then send it around the world using Google Maps to, you know, your mum or your boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever that might be. And I think for us, this kind of really proved that, or really tried to show that you can create really rich and engaging experiences using digital. So to kind of sum up the kind of the key messages, I think I'm kind of overrunning on time. I think the first thing I kind of say is kind of when thinking about your brand advertising, and Turkey is obviously a huge TV market, but I think the first thing when you think about kind of TV and those kind of video messages, don't be restricted by the TV schedule, and the consumer is kind of now in control in terms of deciding whether, you know, they want to watch your copy or not, and that first 5 seconds is key. The second thing is I think, as I said, we're not reinventing the wheel here. I think brand advertising is still all about telling great stories, but you've now got an opportunity and amazingly rich tools to be able to engage with your consumer and have a conversation. And I think the third thing with some of the examples I've showed you with Topshop or with Burberry as well, or other brands like Volkswagen, is that I think it gives us really exciting opportunities to do things, to kind of delight our customers and do things which have never been done before. So that wraps it up. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.